temperature. I mean, this is... I don't know if I've talked about this in the podcast because I only just kind of figured it out. But one of my peeps once told me a long time ago. She lived in New York. She said that she lived in New York for a long time. She doesn't anymore. While she was there, I went out to visit her. And we were delighted because we were able to do things like go to the Empire State Building and stuff. And it was a fun time. Get some good food and stuff. She said that one of the things that was so cool about me coming down was that gave her a chance to put on new eyes for this place that she lived in. When you live somewhere, especially if you were born there or raised there, she wasn't, but she just had been a resident for a long time. Anyway, it's just really easy to take for granted the area that you live. Stephen Ornella doesn't. I'm starting not to. And the reason why I brought up my friend, my peeps, is that in and out of my knowledge growing up in this area, I've known that it's very temperate. Yeah, dry. Yeah, it can get hot. Yeah, it catches on fire way too frequently, especially recently. We have droughts all the time now in this area. But despite all that, it's quite something to live here. It's very nerfed. Not a lot of poisonous things out here. Not a lot of muscular hunter killers out there. Like bears. Jesus. Got mountain lions, but everybody's got mountain lions. And it's just kind of nerfed. But it's a part of what makes the area special. And another thing that makes the area special, and this is more the point that I wanted to make, is the Vale. I live near enough the Pacific Ocean in just such a way that A, the wind is almost always cool and not warm. B, every night when that temperature drop happens, which doesn't happen everywhere. It's probably more of a coastal thing than an inland thing. And it's probably more of a microclimate thing than you can tell this state by this thing. I don't know. But the thing that I'm pointing to is the Vale. The Vale. The mist. The low clouds that get whipped up on the coast and seep in. Because the terrain is so hilly and uneven, depending on where I'm at when I'm out delivering food and stuff, I've had the chance recently to observe the Vale in different levels of its being. It's like a second tide. Very cool. And I'm nowhere in sight of water when I deliver, 99% of the time, but close enough to the water where it gets late enough. As soon as the sun loses, like whatever it is, 65% of its strength and goes down that far, that's all that the Vale needs to do what it wants to do all the time, which is come in and blanket us. So you get to see it. Sometimes it's thin, sometimes it's thick, sometimes it's higher up, sometimes it's actually, a lot of the time, it's already around you by the time you notice it. And you're just in this altered landscape. Anyway, we're at the walk spot. I just take the Vale for granted, but it's so good. It means that as little rain as we sometimes get, a lot of the vegetation around here does get caressed nightly by at least very mild precipitation, or very, not quite drizzle, but just a high moisture content in the air. cool moisture, not hot moisture, and not close moisture, but just this very loose feeling thing. Of course, the qualities change night by night, and I'll be honest, I'm not out enough, late enough to really tell you. There was a time when I knew more about that part of the world, or that part of this piece of the world. I'm currently a little bit south of where I grew up primarily. A couple of miles. A few miles, really. But, gotta sneeze. Oh, there it is. Whew. We walk backwards. I mean, honestly, if you can see the mountains, usually they wouldn't be so grayed out. But you can tell there's a little tiny bit of that scent creeping in even now. And there's an opaqueness to the sky right now. It's not cloud cover, it's just a little something extra. And it means that you can always kind of smell the sea, but only a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. But anyway, like I was saying, there was a time when I was out late far more often as an adult. That was when I was working at the pizza parlor. I had a habit of, it was very close to my house at the time, or the house that I was living in at the time, so I found myself running to and from work, a few days out of the week, a couple of days out of the week, depending on what year it was. That was one of those times when I was kind of getting my ideas about, I'm actually healthy enough to run. It was a cool time in some ways. But because I worked the night shift, I'd always be getting out 10, 11, 12, 1. Like, those were kind of the hours of getting home. Running through the night. Some nights were clear, truthfully. Other nights, a lot of nights, especially the bottom 9 months out of the year. Fall to spring. Man, there'd be some fog, or there'd be some precipitation, or just the lightest drizzle, you can barely detect it. Just a slight crispness to the sound. Anyway, the Vale. I'm gonna miss the Vale. I can't stay here forever. Nobody can stay anywhere forever. Even if you do stay, the place changes, doesn't it? I'm still adjusting. It's been a few years now since we've had lots of fire every year, or most years, in this neck of the woods. I've always been spared. That's awesome. But like I was saying many episodes ago, I have seen that very hill far, far darker. In fact, I've seen it buried in smoke. Not fire. I mean, you can tell the forests, the little spotted tree stands and stuff, pretty solid and pretty green. Maybe even you can tell that. I'm looking at the screen right now. It's hard to tell. But, I'll just leave you like this so you can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, I've seen that mountain half obscured by smoke, completely obscured by smoke. Whew. I've seen smoke reaching up and out, kind of like the Vale, but born in fire, not in water. Very strange. Whole different world. Yet, that's just change. It's like, how long did it take for... wasn't there like some big swaths of Africa that were far more jungly at one point? Wasn't like the Nile River area way, way, way more green at one point? And then things just changed, and forests changed to grassland, changed to dry, arid shrubbery savannas, and short, bent, twisted, hardy trees, to just sometimes desert. Powerful. You can't stay anywhere because everywhere changes. Yet, the present moment is always here. So, deal with that. This sun feels so good on my body right now. I'm just drinking it up. I've had times when I was definitely very cave-like in terms of my reticence to go outside, my unwillingness to take time to go outside. And I've always worked indoors leading up to now. And oftentimes the primary times that I was awake were around the times of sunset or a little before, leading into evening, deep into the evening, into the early morning. Like, that's been my primary haunt most of my life. Now I have a lot more flexibility, which is kind of interesting. I'm still staying up very late most nights. But the option to go back and be awake and alert at dawn and then asleep a little bit after dusk, 9, 10, 10:30, 11. That option is only a couple of days of adjustment away. Or a couple of days of planting a flag in that time zone and then adjusting over the course of a week or two, let's say, to get really used to it. I almost did that a couple of days ago. I was up at 7, then I was up at 9. Today I was like, nope, it's gonna be noon. Noon on a Sunday. Productive. I was productive, though. I've been making about time and a half as much as I was expecting to make these last few days. I had a goal set up. Let's just bring in X a day. But I've been doing 1.5 times X, and I've been quite happy about that. But it's taken its toll. I'm out there for longer, and I've got a bit more of a business-like attitude about it. I have the option of just being available for 1.5, 2 more hours a day, and just stringing along a slower burn of orders. And, or just, hyper concentrating my efforts a little bit more. When I want to hyper concentrate, I go to a slightly bigger city. When I am cool with the slower burn and want that more relaxed feel, like how yesterday started, then I'll just, set up that space and not go anywhere and not spend gas getting somewhere and then moving around in a place where there ought to be a higher frequency of pings that I can then operate on. We're still kind of in the thick of it where there's just not a lot of orders, but it's okay. Yesterday, I started out in such a relaxed fashion. I took a really low-paying order that led me to a slightly better-paying order immediately, which led me to another okay order. And then, all of a sudden, I'm 2 cities over, making $20 in a half an hour. Of course, then I probably could have just stayed in that city. Oh yeah, and then I did some more stuff in that city. But I probably could have stayed there a little longer. Or went back there. It wasn't a huge city or anything, but it seems like I'm getting a lot of... Well, it's actually... yeah, like in that direction. Anyway. Ooh, yeah, the bowels are speaking. Should I cut the run? No. So, I don't know if this is true or not, but there are some firefighters in my county, I think they're in my county, that have set up some hot pepper gardens. Oh, running again. Some hot pepper gardens behind the firehouse. A few firehouses that are like this, I think. Maybe I should go visit them. That'd be kind of cool. But, they've begun bottling hot sauces and selling them. And on the bottles, this is like habanero pepper hot sauces, and one's a jalapeno one, and one's a ghost pepper one. That's the one that I got. And it's been burning my asshole out, that's for sure. But also, well, and I got the Tabasco as well. But beyond the fact that it just hurts so good, it also has a little label on the back of these bottles that says, all earnings donated to charity. I was like, damn. Well, there's a lot of fire around here. Firefighters would know where to put charity money. Probably toward efforts to rebuild and fortify my state, this county, whatever. I don't even know if they're in my county. I don't even know the name of the hot sauce. I just bought it. I know there's 3 X's in the word ghost pepper on the bottle that I bought. I might give them a shout out though, because that's a really solid thing. Possibly, if that is truly an endeavor rooted in integrity. God damn, dude. I'm telling you, like, what are human beings when some of us decide we're gonna live a life where we go toward fires that are burning people's houses down and stuff, try to save the houses and save the cats and save the elderly and save the kids and save the people. And there's a lot of these people. Not enough, never enough, but it's so powerful. It's like really kick-ass, like solid. And just anybody in work like that, especially like, God, a lot of people where I come from are nurses and doctors. They fucking flock to this kind of work. One gal that I used to take Tai Chi with is a savage. She went to a college, a local college, where they had a pretty competitive but high reward medical training program. She became a nurse, is a nurse, and guess what she gets for it? I guess enough money to live with housemates. She's in her 20s. I think she might be 30 now. I don't think so, though. And the last time that I saw her post on social media, she was doing something. It was like a makeup thing of some kind. She's like, we did a makeup party to celebrate our first break on this third 12-hour shift in 3 days. I'm like, fuck. I think nurses and doctors, the good ones at least, 4-hour shifts, tops. And you know what? Mandatory machine automated back rubs or mandatory vacation time where you can go to a spas of your choice, have a soak, whatever. These people should be treated like like how people think that whatever Wagyu beef is treated. These people should be fucking given loungy sofas and fed grapes. Foot massages always ready. And a little fine wine. Or some excellent room service. That's what our people should be given. The good ones, at least. Not this horse hooey. I get it. All that exposure. I got a little puppy pack. Hey, guys. Please don't jack me. Look how fierce you are. Bye, puppies. Did you guys see that? Oh, they were tiny. They should get puppies and kittens, too. As many as they want. Free tickets to the petting zoo. All nurses. If I get my magic wand, and I immediately am able to change social policy. Horse rides, petting zoos, foot rubs, yogurts and exotic juices, grapes on sofas, warm, steamy towels, spa days, mandatory spa days, 4-hour shift of just luxuriating in soaks and spas. Mandatory. 4-day work weeks. Any 4 days that you want to work, any shift that you want. Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, some people would juke the system. They're doing it anyway. There's always somebody juking the system, taking advantage and not really participating, not really putting back in. But then I'm convinced that there's just, for every one of those guys, you get all of these brilliant minds that are just getting squashed by these hours. Which, yeah, I get it. You gotta get your 1,000 hours in, or your 10,000 hours in. All I'm saying is, well, I'm not saying anything. Andrew Huberman has some things to say about if you want to learn stuff, try learning things for more than 3 hours in a day with no sleep. Look up that guy's channel. I highly recommend it. Should we go see the rock people? Yeah. Only because of the extra draw of the turkey vultures. Or turkeys. Yeah, these are turkeys. We were talking about turkeys earlier. Turkey birds. Hello, chaps. Good day for it. Minding your own ways, are we? Yeah, these guys do like to run across the road sometimes. What's up, guys? Yo! Say hi. See, that one's, yeah, they got some beards on them. These neck feathers that just kind of like indicate age or something. I'm not sure if you can see that, but their feathers are a little like chromatically refractive, if that's a word. Like oil slick. They break the sun's light into rainbow patterns and reflect it back. Where were we? Before the puppies and turkeys, Jesus. It's just too damn cool out here. It's too damn cool. Oh, yeah, shouting out. Andrew Huberman. Look up his channel. Right now I'm listening to him talk about neuroplasticity, and I'm dumbfounded at the natural sense that what he's saying is making. It's like, oh, I already knew that before an education system taught me that was wrong. So at least I get to have it back as a 33-year-old man. I was going to live, I was going to do what I was going to do anyway, and just try to live as if it is possible to change your mind and change your brain. Whether or not the man tells me that I can't, if I'm not 25 or younger. Anyway, Andrew has a lot to say. He's clinically incisive, highly proficient with words, has just enough of a sense of humor where you can kind of get on board with his robotic-looking manner. And the complexity of the subjects that he brings up. Because he's into vision health. He's into like optics and ocular health, that kind of thing. He's also deeply into neuroscience. And a lot of what he says rings real true. It's also unfortunately illustrative and indicative of the shortcomings of video games. Yes, you can be creative and learn cool things and yeah, with your decision-making faculties and hand-eye coordination and stuff, kinda, maybe. But the difference between going on a hunt and playing a first-person shooter game like Paladins is pitch, yaw, and a third one. Rotation or something. You got to actually move your head and work with your balance centers, and you have to be at a proficiency level where you're going to be making errors and frustrating yourself. And then if you're more than 25, you want to achieve neuroplasticity, best to do that in shorter bursts over longer periods of days, months, weeks, Younger folks can change things quicker and therefore can take larger doses of error-ridden proficiency gaining learning experiences. But for us, old fogies, don't stress yourself out too hard fucking things up and trying to adjust in whatever thing you're trying to learn. Too bad, too much. Just give it many days and smaller time windows, once or twice a day. And you'll learn. Your brain will change its shape. The other thing, you gotta be off balance. You gotta be vulnerable. You gotta be concerned. You gotta have like this. And the main thing is there have to be stakes. You've got to be interested. Genuinely, the deeper the better, interested. To the point where I don't know if all music artists are like this, but for the ones who achieve those insane levels of proficiency that I've noticed in the world coming up, I'm thinking about Prince, I'm thinking about Danny Carey, I'm thinking about Maynard. I don't know, there's a lot of talented people out there. It's almost more necessary for them to practice and get better at their craft, or at least to just get it out there on paper or on the stage, than it is to draw breath or eat food. Those are the kinds of stakes that you have to feel to get the really big neuroplasticity stuff. It's like, oh, I fucked up. Now I'm not going to eat. Now my mind is going to be supercharged by nothing less than mortal need to adjust and course correct. And the next time I mess up, it won't be quite so bad. Maybe we eat later, but there have to be stakes. Either they have to be literal stakes. Sorry, not literal. Either they have to be actually dire stakes, or they have to be perceived stakes that are that high, that intense. Like if you really want it, you gotta want it. You've gotta burn for it. I think that's the take home. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but a left brain dominant stoic fellow whose entire life is built on clinical work and conventional education and that kind of thing. That guy comes to that notion. That's how you know something interesting is happening. He might as well be saying magic is real. Might as well hear a scientist tripping over a microscope, getting on the phone and being like, holy shit, we found it. We found the magic gene. We found the magic cell. We found evidence that there it is. Magic is real. Anyway, that's my Andrew Huberman rant for the day. Enjoy that content. I recommend taking it in small doses. That's what I do. Kind of like the really good Aubrey Marcus podcasts. I prefer to take it in small doses. That which I view for recreation, I'm okay with the dump of content. But that which I view with the intent to actually get something out of, whew, well, kind of like Andrew was saying, it's not super easy to ingest all at once. Better to live an optimized life and then take things in chunks. Because apparently you retain and actually glean knowledge and solidify and cement your day's worth of learning during good rest. So get good rest. Should we do a totally what's the word? Unsolicited. Should we do some unsolicited PSAs? Just to piss off the rebels like me if I were listening to this podcast and didn't know me. Drink water. Get outside. Smell some flowers. Write some poems. Take a chance. Drink more water. Eat square, well-rounded meals. Sleep a few hours, for God's sake. Meditation is good. What else can I... what else can I put out there in the same vein? Believe in yourself and keep at it. Don't forget to take time off. Don't talk to me before I've had my coffee. No. I think we're entering different territory with that one. Yeah. Anyway. Can't believe I talked about video games on the podcast. Jesus. It's like my secret shame. It's like my weird, kinky, masturbatory sideline that I keep to myself. I play video games. It kind of is, though, isn't it? All of my insecure parts are like, no! People will devalue the things that you say that actually mean something because you sometimes sit in front of a screen and push buttons. Oh my God, everyone's gonna judge me. Oh no. Fine. Who cares? I know this guy. I can't believe I'm shouting this guy out. I don't know anything about him, virtually. His name is Xavier Woods, I think. He runs a YouTube channel called Up, Up, Down, Down. He plays sports video games. He plays fighting video games and stuff. He's got a weird but very genuine laugh. And he's big, and he's black,